We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity Top Gun Sales Boot Camp. And let's dive in. And Kenny, what you got?
So we're working with Ron from Goshen, and he's got his own plumbing license. So kind of a story behind that, but he's got his own plumbing license, and he's whatever he is, 70, 80 years, about 80 years old. And I know Tim has been looking for somebody with a plumbing license to sign so he can get his plumbing license.
Okay.
So um I just had this. I mean, I ran this a talk to Tim yesterday, and I had this idea, but it's like, what if we could get? I mean, working with building a relationship with Ron and doing some jobs for him. If we could get our plumbing license through that, through him, and then how do we? Okay, number one is how to is it right or whatever to use his advantage to use his to get what we kind of get what we want from him, build that relationship so we can get what we want from him, and then how to the second one would be how do we leverage that to help Tim or help out Bricio and whoever if it does work out.
So I think that goes back to your, WIFM and, you know, what's in it for me, the concept of selfless selfishness. And so I think it is. One thing is everybody's big boys, big girls, um, that are at least over 18. And so, I mean, if there's honesty in what you're doing and saying, hey, can we do an exchange of services? Can we do an exchange of services? And so I think it's fine. I think it's continued to understand the value and respect the value. Um, Jason, a number of years ago, people did appreciate and value Jason going to different RIA meetings, which is real estate. So he'd develop networks or opportunities, and people would value that. Like he'd generate a lead or this or that, they would value it. I did a lot because I've invested a lot into it. So there's formal education, informal education, and formal education. I probably don't. I mean, I have 3 degrees in business, but I don't like. I don't probably put as much value on that as a lot do that have the degrees often. But me reading the Wall Street Journal every day and what I acquire from that, what I invest into, um, things, you know. So I think if you're struggling with it, there's tension with it. I think that's good. Went to the sing along or whatever that's called over at Leeds on Sunday. And, I'm looking for opportunities for, everyone. And, there's, I don't know, 70 people there, 50 people there, young people, teenagers, teens and in their 20s. And so that's an investment of time that I put into it. There's an investment of my life that I put into seeing opportunities. And so do people appreciate that? Probably not. And I've just learned to accept it. I've just learned to accept it, just like as a husband does my wife, as kids to my kids. Probably not. And I guess it's okay. I mean, it's sad. Like I've realized teaching your children and teaching other people thankfulness, it's more for their benefit than it is for mine. Like them being thankful to me, is not the purpose. The purpose is for them to learn to be thankfulness. to be thankful. So I think you struggling with it, I think is there. There's something I talked to Tim, and this goes deep. I mean, this goes deep, deep, deep into the core of essence of everything. So it's not really about Tim, it's really about human nature. And so Tim asked me, how are you doing? And I said, well, that depends on how I look at things. And he's like, well, that's kind of silly or stupid. Okay, that's fine. And later on, we were talking, and he's like, I got to think about what you're saying, and it's pretty interesting. And then I explained why I said what I did. I said, most people, when they ask how you're doing, they're not really interested. It's just, so I don't want to lie to them and say, yeah, it's great. I don't want to just tell them the good stuff. I don't want to just tell them the bad or what looks bad, because what good could be bad and what bad could be good. Like, so I don't know how I'm supposed to respond. So I respond that way. He's like, that's really interesting. He's like, that's pretty smart. Like, and then he said, the truth is, Mark, I don't care. And I appreciate that. Like, he's being honest. He's not alone in that. And so I said yesterday on one of the podcasts, Elaine was on, I said, I wonder if men just don't care. They just don't. They just learn, don't care because they're so sensitive. And I wonder if women think they care, but they don't care any more than men do. They just care in a very different way. And um, so I think struggling with that, Kenny, I think that's good. Uh, Kevin in the certification yesterday, he struggled with something that was really impressive. I'm glad he's struggling with that. Like, is that ethical? Is that moral? Is that honest? Like, is that integrity? Integrity. I love that he struggles with that. Like, are we being have integrity for what we're saying? That's important. I mean, that's really, really important. So,
and that's where, I mean, I don't, okay, one thing I think I could get it, like I could pull it off, but just because you can do something, it doesn't mean
right.
you should.
And so, like Bricio, he's different. He's just different. He's just different. And so, probably because of what he's been through in life, I don't know. Pretty rough stuff, I think. I don't know, but so I think he cares. And so Tim, so is there a way to help Tim, like to care? So will people go ahead? It's mind blowing to me how much you can help people. And on the white male over 50 is the classic example. They can be on podcasts and or coaching programs or anything, and they don't pay anything. And it's like to Life Masters, they don't give anything, they don't pay anything, because they think that their mere presence they have so much value that their mere presence is an exchange. Like and it's like, really, but they're not the only ones. And so it's sad because we lose out, and that dovetails in. Like last night in my sleep, I woke up this morning and my head's just racing. I'm like, holy cow. And so people miss opportunities in life and they never even know the opportunities they missed. And like, I think, you and Luke and Kevin are doing that with, Dreamscape on the opportunity with Luke's past boss. So it's mind numbing to me, like Luke's motivation. And so he wants to help out his past boss. which is not bad. Like that's not bad, but he's not looking out for the owners of Dreamscape. He's more concerned about helping somebody else and getting that dopamine hit there than he is himself and his fellow partners or the team members. And, and this is not a characteristic of an expressive. This is a characteristic of an amiable. And there's another somebody who's raised Amish that has the same thing. It's just fascinating to me. And it's like they have very low, amiable, but they have amiable characteristics. I haven't been able to track it, figure it out. The amiable, like I know marriages where, the husband is, whatever, one of the personalities could be the driver, could be the expressive, and the wife is the amiable, or it could be the reverse. It could be, the wife is the driver. And, I interviewed somebody yesterday for DVALP, and holy cow, she's a double driver, primary, double analytic, secondary. And I mean, I told her, and she was so moved. And so the amiable, the amiable will go ahead and do more to help other people as total strangers than their own spouse. And it's mind numbing to me. I mean, here you have, let's say it's a husband, but it could be a wife too. I mean, it can be. I mean, I got both. I got both. I got a wife who's, where her husband will do more to impress people and help other people than to help her or help the kids. And it's just, I don't know what to do. So I think it's really good, Kenny, that you're struggling. I think that's don't ever lose that. Don't ever become overconfident and be like, well, yeah, we're, you know, but don't underestimate what you have to give people either. Don't overestimate it. Not overestimate what you're giving. I mean, like Tom Coots and I, we've had a friendship for over 22 years. And Tom said, I say he's the closest thing to a business mentor, a life mentor that I've ever had. And I say I'm so appreciative of him. It's unbelievable. There's not a day that goes by I don't talk about him. And he says, Mark, I think you've taught me far more than I've taught you. And he's sincere about it. And I can see what he's saying. And I don't disagree with him. But from my perspective, I mean, I've got a list of natural law that he's helped me an understanding of people and situations. So the truth is, who's going to get the most out of the relationship? It's the person who is the best student. The best student's always going to get the most. So if you're not getting as much as you're giving, that's because of you. You're not as good a student. Like John Henderson, friend and mentor of mine. I mean, he went ahead and he said, you can learn more from a bad leader than you can a good one, which means you can learn more from a bad friend than a good friend. You can learn more from a bad spouse than a good spouse. You can learn more from a, bad pastor than you can a good one, a bad organization than a good organization, a bad, employee than a good one, a bad, uh, you know, Ben, you guys all know him. He's a funny guy. He's like, who of the 7 kids? He's like, who is your favorite child, Dad? Which is just a weird thing, but he is weird. It's okay because it helps me. He's like, who's your favorite? Like, I said, well, Ben, like, so there's some of the 7, that are more in alignment where I'm at, and so I'm going to connect with them more. There's some that are just 180 degrees of me. And I said, maybe, in some ways, my favorite is the one that's the hardest. I just don't get them. I don't understand them. And they're the hardest. And so it's how you look at life. On this here yesterday, if Kevin would have followed through, like, I don't know, we got to find, like, I don't understand. I mean, I love that Kevin made 5 phone calls. I love that he went ahead and talked to one guy. I love, what was the word you used?
Hideous.
Hideous. He had a hideous call, a hideous call. Like, that's the best call ever. I love that he did that. I love that he went ahead and, I love that he went ahead and had somebody call him back. 5 phone calls, and he has somebody call him back. Like, really, dude? Like, 4. So 25%. 25% of the people are calling back. Like, oh, dang. Probably what I love the most, Kevin. Do you know what that is?
Not sure.
Kevin went ahead and made a sacrifice. Was it for me, Kevin, or?
I would say it was for me.
That's what I'm
Kinda.
thinking. So he made a sacrifice. He didn't go swimming with his wife. Instead, he worked on learning and growing. So I appreciate that. Appreciate that he told me that. I mean, that was just kind of, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. So I'll never forget it. But he did go through, and he did go through and do these. He didn't go through and do these. The women did, but he did. The women did not go through. The women did go through and do these. And what I'm searching for is, how do you help people see opportunities that they missed? And so, this one right here, always be humble, always be humble. This one right here, if he had gone through that, I mean, between him and me, we might have been able to help, Kenny and Luke see something they're just missing. And I'm not really interested in the situation they're missing. Like I told my friend Luke Costable, I said, yeah, when I'm talking about what I'm talking about, I'm never talking about what I'm talking about. I'm talking about somebody else. He just started laughing. He's like, you wonder why people don't understand you? But everybody does that. They're never talking about what they're talking about. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about something of substance, but I got to have something. So this situation, I mean, the amount of money that their company could generate is insane. And Kevin too, how much they could earn. It's crazy. I'm like, you gotta be kidding. I don't think I've ever seen this in 62 years. An opportunity like this. I'm like, and I feel stupid, and I feel inept, and I feel like I'm a sucky coach, and I feel like I'm a sucky leader and a sucky business partner, and I just suck all around. I just suck it. Like, just, but it's not the situation that's important. What's important is the principles behind it. And I don't know how to do that. Luke, what you got?
What do you do if one area of servicing kind of struggles and keeps on struggling and
There's a high
you can't?
probability. There's a high probability that the system, the certification system here, would fix that. It's how people are thinking, Luke. They're not thinking. They're not thinking right. It's all about thinking. Albert Einstein said, you can never solve a problem on the level it was created. What does that mean? It means that we can't create, it means that we can't solve a problem based on where we're at in life right now because we created the problem. And so we have to go to a higher dimension to solve a problem at our current dimension, which is really hard for human beings to do because you got to be humble. And so where does that problem rest? It's in the marketing for people, it's in the development of people, it's the onboarding of people, and then it's of your team members, of your employees, and or your leadership, both. So Life Masteries has been after me for decades to go ahead and create a program for employees. The EVAs, they get trained from day one to think a certain way. Day one, there's specific things they're trained to think. You think a certain way. And so, by and large, I love working with EVAs. Why? Number one reason is everybody takes ownership. When there's something that gets screwed up, I mean, I've had Elise, I've worked with for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11 years. And 90% of the issue was my issue. I screwed up. And she's taking ownership of it. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And so there's something in the system, Luke, and this might be, and if Kevin had, kept up with the girls and gone through these, well, he might have had the solution for you guys today. Anything else, Luke, you got?
How do you and taking ownership, like in leadership? So everything comes back to leadership, or it does, in my opinion. How do I take ownership of that and like make things happen, make decisions, and make things happen?
Challenge you'll have. And I wish when I was you guys' age, somebody like me was around. There wasn't. But the challenge you have is when you take ownership, other people will let you take ownership. As a husband, when you take ownership, by and large, your wife's going to let you take ownership. Yep, it was your fault. Like, all of it? Yep. No, I'm joking. Women aren't like that. Kids, though, when you take, so you need a third party, Luke, like a grandfather, somebody that's not in the day to day. You and Kenny are like, like dads. And so, dads have it hard. You got to tell your kids, you got to tell your wife, you got to tell what they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear things, and you got the job of doing it. And so what you need somebody to go ahead, and when you take ownership of something, you need somebody to say, I mean, yes, it's a percentage of your responsibility, but what percentage is yours? Like Elise is 90 in that one situation, 90% is on me, maybe more. And she's taking ownership. I mean, Elaine, you can see the same thing. She and I fight for whose ownership. She's like, it's mine. I said, no, it's not mine. It's not yours. It's mine. Why? Because whoever takes ownership, they're the ones that grow. And more ownership you take, the more you grow. Like when those 3 Amish teenagers died, honestly, just making stupid choices. It's like, come on. And they died. And those precious families and brothers and sisters and everybody, they'll never be the same. They can be better, but it's not easy. Somebody's got to step in and do something about it. So, I take ownership of that. Why? Because I can. I mean, it's not that hard. I mean, for me, it's not. So you have to teach them by demonstrating that you're taking ownership. So you have to lead by example, but you need another party. At least I need another party. I'm not able to pull it off. Tom probably could, but I can't pull it off. To go ahead and point out, well, what's your issue? Now, I do it in the EVA stuff. And so with Kevin, like he might be able to do it when he watches the videos. Like he might be able to do it, and we have a podcast that people listen to, or we might be able to pull it off on the like this stuff here, like Katrina and Katie. Holy cow, those two girls, 20 and 16 years old, those two girls are on fire. Like they're gonna like like and so might be able to do it on a Friday, Luke, where you go ahead and come up with a topic for building strong team members, and then ask all of your team to watch that particular podcast, and then they got to write about it. So I go in and I go in with Katrina and Katie, and they're writing good things about these. And I'm commenting on their comments, on their reflections. I'm going in and saying, "Well, that's a good thought, ladies. I agree with that. But here's another thought. Here's another way of potentially thinking." It's hard work, Luke. It's hard work for you, and it's hard work for other people. Kevin, what you got, sir?
So, how do you know if that you're doing what God put you on the earth to do?
So, Alan Stein is the one that gave me that. And, I don't know if we do a gift to him because, in ways, he and Nancy are the reason Dreamscape is in existence. In a way. Maybe it would have been either way. I don't know. But in a way, they are. So Alan said to me, you've discovered your life vision. When you hate it, you run from it. And it pursues you relentlessly, and you can't escape from it. Questions?
No.
So Luke, your previous owner, the previous owner of the company you worked for, how long did you work for him?
Probably close to a year and a half.
Do you know how long I was connected to Alan and Nancy?
A long time, I think.
Yeah, 20 years. So over 20 years. So over 20 times the feelings that I have for them that you have for your past, the owner of your past company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, don't know, but probably I don't know if Synergy or Life Masteries, if they would be in existence without Alan and Nancy. They gave 7 or 10,000. I think it was 10,000 originally. They gave $10,000 originally. Just one holiday just got a check for 10,000 to start Life GPS for Life Masteries Institute. Like all of this might not be there without Alan and Nancy. So you just take, like people say, Mark, how do you have the empathy for like everybody? Like, how do you understand women and children and people who are abused and stuff? It's like, how do you have the empathy? I just find that situation. And so now you have a year and a half. We'll multiply that times 20 times. And that's what Mark feels to Alan and Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Kevin, you got?
No.
What do you think you're going to do today, Kevin?
Do you mean on the certification training?
Okay, good.
Or if I watch those videos?
Right? Like, I'm just curious. Do Amish men, young men, do they have testosterone, or do they do they do they compete against when you get beat by a girl in volleyball or baseball or something? When you get beat by girls, does that bother Amish men or not so much?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I hope. I don't know. I'm not sure. So they, kicked your butt. I mean, you did really good. You got better results than they did. So you did good on the phone calling. Just again, so you did great on that. But this here, like, why didn't you do this? Probably because you weren't around here. I mean, you came here, but then you left. So being present with everybody else, because I went downstairs, it's like, where's Kevin? Oh, he's not here. Like, because I didn't see, like, they're going through. And so, anyways, it reminds me of the balance in life. And so, principle and value in life. What do we value? So your values are, potentially different than mine, which is fine. It's your values. You own them. You have them. So with me, number one value in life is my relationship with God. It's not religion. It's relationship with my creator. Number two is relationship with my wife. Number three is going to be relationship with my children, grandchildren, family. Number four is economic engine. And, how do I afford things and financially? And number five is impacting the world. Fairly simple and easy in life to be successful in any one of those areas. Man, is it hard to be successful in all five of those areas for me. Man, the amount of work I have to do is insane. I'm working harder now, not physical work necessarily. I'm working harder now than I've ever worked in my life. And, Katrina, she's a sassy one. She thinks she could outwork me. Like, we're going to have a work off sometime. I better do it quick because, anyway, she's fun. All of them are fun. I mean, Katie and Kelly and, and Kevin, you guys are awesome. If you have any questions, connect with the individual who invited you to participate. You're our mentor, our buddy. Always remember we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.